Welcome everyone, and as promised, we are going to discuss, I don't need glasses, we're going to discuss passing parameters to our functions in this video. Let's jump right in and get started. So the first thing I wanted to mention to you is I was lazy and foolish in the last video. I said that parameters and arguments are used kind of interchangeably in Python, and that's not, well, that is true, but it's not technically accurate. Yeah, we always want to be technically accurate. And just so you know, according to the creators of Python, a parameter is when you are defining the function. So here you can see I'm defining the function called my function, and I have my parameter. Yes, that's when we have a parameter. Now, notice I'm calling the function down below, and I'm giving it a value. That value is called the argument. Yeah, so just let's know that for our certification exam, by the way. Yeah, so it's parameters during the definition, it's arguments technically when we are passing that parameter in. All right, but now to the main content here that we need to discuss, and that is what we've been doing so far when we have multiple parameters. Yeah, that's positional parameter passing, sure. So here in the simplistic example, I'm defining a function and there's three parameters that need to be provided, an A, a B, and a C. And sure enough, when we call the function, we provide the arguments in the appropriate order. And so, yeah, this is the kind of standard way to do it. We call it positional parameter passing. Sally sells seashells at the seashore. That was wicked hard for me. All right, next up, the alternate way to go is go ahead and use keyword argument passing. Ah, look at this example. So we define the my function and it's F name and L name for your parameters. And what do? Well, when we call it, when we provide the arguments, we go ahead and specifically call them out. And notice on purpose here, I did them in a different order. Yeah, because we can. So I said the L name is going to be Smith. The F name is going to be John. So you can call out exactly what parameter you are defining with your argument in your calling of the function. Yes. Now, the question that you probably have is, could you combine these two methodologies? And kind of surprisingly, the answer is yes, you can combine these two. But the key is you always need to start out positional. Okay, so you always need to start out with a positional reference. So let's take a look at combining these two methods. Here I define my function once again as simply A and B and C. And then notice when I call the function, I give the positional parameter pass first of 1. Then I can use my keyword method, and I can use any order I want at that point, right? C is 3, B is 2. You get the idea. I don't recommend you combine these just because you can, but obviously if you needed this capability of using the two parameter passing methods, then go for it. If you need it, do it. So, an easy, simple, straightforward lesson, I hope. In this lesson, of course, we learned the real difference between saying parameter and argument when you're working with functions. And then we took a look at three options for passing in those parameters. We can do it in a positional way, we can do it with keywords, or we can do it with a mix of both, as long as we start out with a positional entry first. Thanks so much for watching.